On tonight's episode, we learn the story of the egg.
Well, it's been a good 20 years since me and James bought this place. Land's been good to us, generous even. But we wish we had never moved here.
The day started just like any other. I woke up at the crack of dawn and worked on my farm. The crop had been thriving. But when night fell, our farm did as well.
The stars were brighter than usual that night. There was this odd feeling of anticipation, like what was about to happen had already happened, but also hadn't. Does that even make sense?
Out of nowhere, a ship blinked into existence above us. It slowly descended until it was touching the ground in my cornfield. After a few seconds, poof, it disappeared. But then we saw what it had left behind, the crop circle and the egg sitting right in the center.
Scared? That's an understatement. But we decided to hold our ground. We stayed put in our home, waiting and watching that egg.
Before we knew it, Humvees, trucks, swarms of feds turned up. They wanted us to leave, but we weren't about to abandon our home.
They agreed to let us stay, but under their watchful eyes. They'd supply our needs, but we were confined to our home. Felt a bit like we were caged birds on our own land.
They covered the egg and the crop circle in a big tarp tent. They didn't want us knowing what they were doing. But we aren't dumb. I tuned my radio to their frequency and could hear all their radio communication. I overheard some important government folks. Seemed the crop circle was serving as an instruction manual for a contraption.
After a few days, we saw them working on this massive structure right in our field. They worked tirelessly, and the incubator they built stood tall amidst our corn. It was a sight.
Martha and I never really talked about what could hatch from that egg.
We were asking why the hell these people were on our property trying to hatch it in the first place. We had to know. So we waited.
About 10 days later, we heard a cry. It went through the walls of my home like they weren't even there. It was a baby's cry, but it was unnatural.
I felt an instinctual pull towards that sound. It was as if the baby's cry had a hold over me. I remember running towards the incubator, compelled by the alien yet human cry. I watched as a man in a hazmat suit carried the baby out of the incubator.
A human baby, born not from a woman but from an egg left by a ship from the stars right here in our field.
Just as we were trying to make sense of it all, the ship returned and the baby disappeared.
We thought we should be relieved, but something felt off. I hadn't felt like this since my horse passed.
The next morning, when all the monsters had left, everything was dead. All of our crops, our livestock, and...
Martha and I both aged 15 years instantly. The baby stole it from us. Oh, I don't care if you believe me, it's what happened. Martha will tell you the exact same thing.
I just want my farm back. It's been a year and nothing can grow. I would have been okay with the aging if my farm hadn't been killed.
The government subsidizes our farm now. It's really just hush money to keep our mouths shut. Don't get me wrong, though, it's a lot of cash. But my conscience got the better of me. I think they'll be back, the aliens. And next time it won't be a baby anymore.
The package, Dave, it's ready for return.
Package, the egg?
Exactly. Once the infant's back, we move. Everything changes.
Understood, Charlie. A new dawn then.
A new dawn indeed, Dave.